Hey guys, I'm going to walk you through a very important step in your Illustrator process. And this is saving your files as well as packaging your files, okay? And packaging is really the essence of what we want to talk about today for a couple of different reasons. I've got this file that I've been working on for a client. It's going to end up being a t-shirt or something along those lines. And I've been doing some custom type and using a typeface that has some glyphs like we talked about before. And this is all still live text except for this little badge that was created a long time ago. And we just kind of use it in different elements whenever we want to pop this on the brand and give a little bit of extra design element and depth. So pretty much everything's live text. The problem with live text in Illustrator is that if our font is not active, then we don't have access to that font and it's going to come up as missing. Let me see if I can get that to happen for you real quick. So if I go into my font management, by the way, this is Suitcase. We've been talking a lot about font management here. And I'm going to type in the typeface. Oh, let's go to shared. It's on the server. And I'm going to take these right here and I'm going to deactivate them. Illustrator should throw an error. There you go. So there's our error. If you ever open an Illustrator file and it looks like this, you may feel like you have the biggest problem of all time. I'm going to show you how to fix it because it's really not a big deal as long as you've saved your file correctly and you've done what I'm going to show you, okay? It's kind of funny. You can see in the default type myriad, you can see where I went through and added a bunch of kerning to the letters here. So let me reactivate that font and hopefully Illustrator will just do it automatically. There you go. All right. Instead of creating outlines out of this right now, guys, because I'm not sure if this is the exact tagline we're going to use. I'm not sure if this is the exact lockup we're going to use. Okay. And when I say lockup, I mean how these letters and everything are kind of fitting together, all right? You might hear that term in design quite often, especially when referring to logos. Let me get rid of this guy since we're kind of done with him. But I want to save this file so that I can use it later and give it to my client, but make some adjustments if they want to make some adjustments, change some taglines, all that stuff. So if I go to File and I go to Save first, so I'm going to do a Save As, and I'm going to save this to, let's save it to my desktop. And I'm going to call it Goat. I think they wanted it to be a hoodie, so I'm just going to call it Goat Hoodie, and I'm going to make sure that my format is Illustrator. I want that to be the full Illustrator file. And I'm saving it to my desktop, all right? So click Save. It's going to say, do you want to go through what version, yada, yada, yada. This version right here that I want to save to is Illustrator 2020. I'm good with everything else. Do you want to embed the fonts? Guys, this is a no-no, all right? It may seem enticing, like, Jason, I don't need to package. I just go through and embed the fonts. You're taking your file from being very small and very easy to work with and easy for a computer that doesn't have a ton of RAM or memory, you're just increasing that file size, okay? So don't click this button. It's not needed, all right? I'm going to go through and click OK. Essentially, I still have type, all right? That's what we want. But now I want to go through and package. So if I go to File, Package, and I can tell it, I want it to go to... we'll call it Goat Hoodie Folder. Sorry, I got to read all this stuff. And then I'm going to just put it loose on the desktop here. That was another folder. We don't want to put it in that one. And these are very important for us, okay? Number one, copy the links. We don't have any links in here. We don't have any images, but if we did have any images that we're using to illustrate over, then we would want those to follow, right? And then we want them to relink whenever we open this document on another computer. This is great if you're working back and forth between two computers or going to one of our labs and working inside the labs. The next thing is copy fonts. It says except for Adobe fonts. And guys, this is one of my soapboxes that I'm going to get on real quick, especially because I teach typography. I understand that Adobe Fonts sounds enticing, okay? Yes, it's great that you have access to all those fonts. However, accept Adobe Fonts, meaning it will not take them to another computer. So if you are having to go through and do something on a machine that you don't own and you're not logged into your Adobe account with, your fonts are not going to show up. All right. So I try not to use Adobe Fonts. I try to own my fonts, but I know as students, guys, I know it's tough and I know it's a lot of money, right? I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars in typefaces. So I understand. You can use them. Just know that you will have this little hang up right here. And then the last thing I want to do is create a report. And this gives me basically all the information about this type or this file that I need to know. So I'm going to click package. It's going to give me a warning telling me that if I'm copying fonts that I don't necessarily have access to distribute them, but I can use them in what's called a service provider or a printer. We usually call it Service Bureau. And we could send the file and they just have the rights to activate the fonts and use them during the time that they're printing the file, and that's it. So I click OK, and then it says the package was created successfully. To view the package contents, press show package button. I don't know what that's going to do, so I actually have it saved for us over here. Let me grab my desktop and bring it over to you so you guys can see. Here you go. All right, so inside my file, check it out. There we go. There's the two typefaces that I'm using. All right, here's a report. Here's my file. Notice the preview, right? Kind of grimy. So inside this report file, by the way, if you had images, you would have an images folder or a links folder here. I don't have any images, so we don't have that. But check it out. Look at all this. This gives me every bit of information I need to know about this file, okay? It tells me what the name is, what the color mode is. It tells me what my ruler units were when I was working with it, what the artboard dimensions are. It just basically goes through and gives me quite a bit of information. And when we get to InDesign, guys, the report inside your package file in InDesign gives you a ton more information. So, but yeah, no embedded fonts. These are the fonts that are being used. This is great if you're passing this off to somebody and they're like, I don't know what font that is. I can't tell. It's going to tell you right here. It also, like, sometimes I've seen it to where two different, or the same font can have the same name, but has slight variations to it. So this is nice. This gives you lots of information. Yeah, this goes with you. And then whenever I'm done, I take this entire folder and I drag it over to my flash drive or my hard drive that I'm working on and take it with me to the next computer. But guys, this is packaging. It essentially takes the assets that are in your Illustrator file, collects them all together, and allows you to take them to any printer or any other computer that you want to work off of, and it allows you to keep everything nice and organized.